Well, I found my glasses. It's a wonder I didn't get beat up more as a kid. So I got home yesterday and Crown Vics have column locks. And I was planning on mowing today, but as you see, it's raining here, so we're gonna put that on hold. School's starting up, so I got all these little kids running around going nuts everywhere. I'm not a fan of kids going nuts, but since I can't mow the lawn, I'm gonna go get my hair cut. But that got me to thinking about several things. I had a conversation with another driver yesterday about he gets wound up pretty good from time to time, and got me thinking about a few things. On a side note, I got home yesterday, and after 27 years, 27, the VA finally got my address right. I've been chasing my mail all over 3 cities for 25 years, trying to get them to get it fixed, and finally it was going to my stepmom's new house. So I was like, I'm done fighting. And then about 2.5, 3 years ago, it just stopped. So I needed a new ID card, so I go down there, and we finally got it all straight. They're like, well, your address shows it being a dead address. I was like, you think? Not like you wasn't told 12.5 times. But this is government bureaucracy, and yes, this is the price we pay. So, now a little while back I did that video on that messed up load. And like I said, I don't do favors, I get paid for them. And I made no bones about it, and I got paid for that one. There's a difference between making a paycheck and getting paid. And are you hustling, or are you into the hustle? And most people are just hustling, but they're not a part of the hustle. One of the things that's been drilled into people's heads for the last 100 years basically is that in order to have any money, you have to get it from someone else. That's just not true. Well, I mean, it is, but it's not. I do have an employer, even though I own my truck. People that, you need customers. That's what I'm trying to say. You got to have customers. And too many people are under the idea that you got to get a paycheck every Friday. So I sit there, and me and a buddy of mine were talking about what does that paycheck really cost you. It's a nice warm feeling knowing that you got money coming in on Friday. It is. There's a bit of security. You got your insurance, you got your bennies, you got all of it. But, and I'm not going to sit there and degrade the guys that like that. There's a lot of guys that love that. But did you ever stop to think that maybe there's something more out there? Well, that's better. Got a haircut. So far in this video, it hasn't gone on too long. I've been a little bit of everywhere. I talk about hustle, I talk about paychecks, I talk about all of this other stuff. What are you worth? That's the real question. That's what I'm getting at. eggs. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. What are you worth? Because I guarantee you, whatever you're worth, the world ain't going to raise your price. So, it's what you need to ask yourself. What do you bring to the table? And who you align yourself with is also vitally important. One of the biggest mistakes I see young people make, and I made this one myself, other than dating a psychotic woman, I still have to, yeah, she's still around, is you have $1 million ideas. Your ideas are good. You haven't thought out all the details, but details come later. The idea is there. The idea is solid. Why doesn't it happen? Well, a couple different reasons. A lot of times the idea doesn't happen out of fear. What if I fail? Like I've said, what if you don't? A lot of times it doesn't happen because you have this mob mentality to where, you know, I want to bring my friends along. I want to do this. Having your friends along for some of these things is not a bad deal. I mean, it can be, but here's the problem. What your friends putting into it? Does your friends share the same vision? I'll guarantee you, if the friends think it's a good idea, but they don't share the same vision, all they're going to do is drag you down and you're going to go broke. Now, I've said it before, you need people, especially if you got a vision. But you need the right people. And the right people is hard to find. Because I'll guarantee you, if these people aren't going along, if all they're doing is going along for the ride, stop that ride, get off. And they may make it, they probably won't. But if you stay true to your vision, you will. Another lie that we tell ourselves when we're young is, maybe if I work harder, I'll go a little further. Well, you can. Working hard is how you get to a lot of places. But you also got to work smart. But here's the other thing. This just goes into working smart. I'm looking for something. What are you working at? These company drivers, I sit there and the one thing that I can't get through people's heads, if I work smarter and I drive more miles, I'll make more money. You're forced dispatch. You're going to get the miles you get. That's the long and short of it. You don't have control over anything. So what are you doing there? You're not building anything. You know, a lot of guys sit there and they put a lot of time and energy and effort into something they will never own. And I'm not saying not to do a good job, not to put your effort in. But if that's what's happening where you're at, get your experience, get what you need to, get everything you can out of that, and then move on if that's what you want. But there's a third thing. One of the things that absolutely drives me nuts is people with a backup plan. And it's not a backup plan on how to continue your hustle. It's a backup plan on how to get the hell out of there when everything crashes around you. You've already planned to quit. There should never be a plan B. And you're like, well, what if I lose? Well, what if you don't? I heard a guy say the other day, and this is true, you never really lose until you quit. You've got 365 days to figure it out. If it doesn't work, try something else. If it doesn't work, try something else. This is not an overnight thing, and this is the problem that I've had with people. You have to put your time in. I put 5 years into this YouTube. This is as far as we've gotten. I love doing it though. I put 23 years into the truck. I was 17 years in before I bought a truck. And that was because my attitude was wrong. Because I kept listening to too many people who had no skin in the game, who convinced me that I couldn't do it without them. The irony of all this is I did do it without them. And I realized that these people weren't acting in my best interest. They were holding me back. You know, you wouldn't believe the amount of haters that came out of the woodwork when I bought my first truck. They're like, they were just convinced I was going to fail. I almost did. You want to know why? Because I was working for the wrong people, doing the wrong thing, because that's what I was told I needed to do. And it took going to the right people. I had to see the yin and yang. I had to see both sides. Once I got with the right people, the world opened up, and I really realized that the hustle is real and that you just have to keep moving. So what do I mean about keeping moving? Part of the problem I'm having is everybody says they got to hustle, they're hustling this and that. They're not hustling. They're scamming. They're scheming. They're plotting. That's theft. I don't care. If you're a con man, you're not hustling. You're stealing. The true hustler knows how to take what he has and make that flourish. You know, don't steal, don't scam. Moving on. A true hustler never quits. He doesn't con people. He doesn't steal. He does try to find an edge. He tries to work the angles. He does what he has to do. But he doesn't con people. But that being said, I ended up, when I got with the right people, I started seeing how it was supposed to be done. I started realizing the lies that were told. I started seeing the things for what they were. And then I had a bunch of new information. The part that I'm getting at was, towards the end, I had the information. I didn't have the practical application. So I knew what the loads were paying. I knew what the fuel surcharge was. I didn't understand how much I was being conned. I was being, basically hustled, but not in the good way, by people who said they had my best interest in mind. They said they had my best interest in mind because I was making them money, but they were taking so much of that money, my return was very small. I'm not joking when I say, I gotta turn that off. That's an overspeed because my speedometer quit. I was working for 25 to 27% as an owner-operator. Once I figured out what the mileage pay was. That's why they were paying me mileage, because they could hustle me out of another 25 to 30%. As for like buying the first truck, if I would have known how easy it was to buy a truck, I never would have gone the way I did. I never would have done it. I would have gone through a better financial lending institution rather than the kind of buy here, pay here kind of crap I did. And I would have had my truck, and I would have been on to greener pastures a lot sooner. It was very rocky. So this is why I tell you to be honest in your hustle, because you don't want to be these guys, because eventually it comes back. If there's one thing I've learned, is that fast money leaves quickly. That's why I tell people to be patient, because that money's going to go quick. If you got it fast, it's going to go fast, because you got it free, you got it easy, and you didn't respect the hustle. truthfully, you're always going to need somebody in some capacity. That's just a fact of life. But if you can do this on your own, I encourage you to do this on your own. Be as independent as you can, because a free man is a thinking man, and a thinking man is an independent man. And if you have financial freedom, you are independent. You know, when they get you tied into all these things where your money is tied up with the company and what they're doing, they own you. And you don't want that. You don't want to be owned, because it doesn't matter what they say or what they do. I'll tell you this, if you're beholden to these guys, thousands of dollars for whatever reason, they got you. You're not going anywhere. So this is why I talk so much about financial freedom. The hustle done right will bring that about. So I'm going to sum it up with this. There's a big difference between who signs the front of the check versus who signs the back. That's a fact. You're out here to make money. You're out here to do your best. You're not out here to make a horrible name for yourself. Your name is everything. If these people know you respect the hustle and you're doing things to the best of your ability, you're not going to make friends in some places, but the friends you do make are going to be real. And I've noticed that I've had a lot of people come and go. I've had a lot of people on this YouTube channel cuss me out. I've had a lot of people on this YouTube channel praise me. Some people like my stuff, some people hate my stuff. But I tell you this, I share my experience because of everything I've been telling you. I've seen it firsthand. We're out here to make money, and we're out here to build our business, to add value to our names, to do things the best of our abilities in order to reap the profits that brings. That's why we're out here. You know, don't get me wrong, some of us like having hoods, some of us like looking good doing it. I don't have a problem with that at all. You know, if that fits your game plan and you're doing all right doing that, go for it. You know, I love a good hood. You know, I'm going to be doing a 1-year review on this truck here soon, and we're going to be talking about some of that. But like I said, I've talked about a hustle. I've talked about building your wealth. I've talked about doing what you need to do properly to ensure that you have financial independence in this business. You know, you're going to win, you're going to lose, but you need to be at the point to where when you have these little mild setbacks, you can shrug them off. Don't get me wrong, that truck braking out there will cause some stress. But trucks braking cause stress. But I also have to realize that trucks break every day. Guys, respect your hustle. Like I said, don't lie, don't cheat, don't con. And at the end of the day, you're going to be much better for it. Because if you do it right and you make a good name for yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody brings to the table or what they come at you with. You're going to be able to weather that storm. Because I'll guarantee you, your competition today, if you keep pushing, ain't going to be your competition in 5 years. Because eventually they're going to get comfortable, they're going to wash out, they're going to fall off. They're still here, and you're going to be here. And by the time a couple of them make it here, you're going to be here. Don't become your own competition, I'll tell you that. But at the same time, keep pushing. Because I'll tell you this, the rewards are long term. Like I talked about fast money. There's no such thing as fast money out here. No such thing as quick money. But I guarantee if you put your time and you keep pushing, you're going to be a success. As long as you do it right, you do it properly, and you let it happen the way it's supposed to happen. You know, don't try to artificially. This is why so many guys, like on the first 48, you see these guys that are sitting there with wonderful ideas, wonderful businesses, but it's not happening fast enough. So they start trying to, you know, push a little weed here, push a little coke here, push a little this, push a little that. They tried to infuse it with cash to get it to move faster. And it bites them every time. Don't get bit, guys. Do it right. Do it properly. And I'll guarantee you in 20 years, you're going to look back and not have any regrets on how you did it. And you're going to look forward and see the future bright, the future open, and good things waiting for you on that end. That's what I'm getting at. We all want those things. And I want those things for you. So I'll tell you this. Keep pushing. Be profitable. And just keep going towards the goal. And as long as your hustle is clean and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, there's nothing anybody can say that's going to bring you down. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. You guys keep it straight, and we'll see you next video.